I will never forget the day that I got a call from the hospital telling me that they think I have leukemia and I need to come down to the hospital to get further tests immediately. When I was 19 years old, the summer after my freshman year of college, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and it totally flipped my world upside down. I was fulfilling a childhood dream of mine, playing college basketball, and in the blink of an eye, that was taken away by this cancer diagnosis. It was devastating to get the diagnosis and have my body be failing me when I spent years, working on my craft and finally was achieving my childhood dream of playing college basketball. One of the first people that showed up was my former youth pastor, Jay. He walks in and he says, "This is gonna sound a little morbid, but whether you get through this thing and beat this disease, or if you pass away in a week, you know that you are saved by the blood of Christ. And you should have hope and comfort in that." I knew as a believer that, you know what, no matter what happens, I'm in the Lord's hands and He's with me. And I found a lot of hope and comfort in that statement throughout my journey. It's not like every single day I just woke up and was super hopeful and excited. I had some very dark days where, yeah, I did start to question why this was happening. I just obviously didn't totally see the bigger picture that ultimately God had in store for me. One of my former teachers gave me like a little devotional, and it had a poem in there called Footprints in the Sand. Basically, a man has a dream one night and he dreams about walking on the beach with Jesus side by side, and in the sky, scenes of his life are flashing through the sky, and he looks up there and almost all of them, he sees two sets of footprints, his own and Jesus's. And then he kind of stops and he realizes that during some of the lowest and darkest moments of his life, there was only one set of footprints. And he kind of turns to Jesus or looks up to the sky and says, "Why have you forsaken me? Where are you at?" And he said, "Dude, I've been with you the whole time. I've been carrying you." That is the best summary for my relationship with Christ and what He meant for me and what He did for me during my darkest times. There were times where I felt forsaken and I wanted to be angry at God, and maybe I even thought that I had been abandoned, and I hadn't at all. One of the blessings that came from my diagnosis is it really brought Maddie and I closer together. Maddie spent every waking moment in the hospital with me, and she was one of my rocks throughout the whole time. After about 4 months of chemotherapy, I went into remission. So as soon as I went into remission, I proposed. We got married about 6 months later. Almost a year after I went into remission the first time, the leukemia had come back. I spent about another 6 months in chemotherapy before getting a bone marrow transplant that I received in 2016, and I've been in remission ever since that bone marrow transplant. So the support community was large and immediate. That would be friends, family, pastors, former teachers, coaches, you name it. What felt a little more difficult to find was what I'll call the cancer community. Someone who actually knew exactly what I was going through and had the same, what seemed like bizarre struggles, but then as you meet other cancer patients, it's kind of the same struggles across the board. Take Heart is going out there in the community, trying to have that impact for other cancer patients, cancer survivors, and I can't wait to see all the lives that they impact, and I'm extremely honored to be part of it.